All right, fashion brand owners, in this quick video, we'll cover exactly what the optimal funnel setup is to scale your fashion brand online, the campaign structure, the audience settings, and the budget settings. What is the best setup right now? So if you're new to who we are, we scale fashion brands online with our viral bestseller ad strategy. And we only specialize in fashion. We mostly work with women's fashion brands, but if you're men's or unisex, that works as well. You can see the brands we work with, our track record, all that stuff in the video description or in our link in bio on our social media channels. So for this video, we'll just go into the setup on the ad side. So number one, the viral funnel. Most fashion brands plateau or stagnate because they spend 40% or more of their monthly ad spend on middle of funnel or bottom of funnel, which is just fancy marketing words for retargeting and remarketing, which is your existing customers. Instead, focus 96% of your budget on top of funnel, which is also known as new customers, and only 4% of your budget on middle and bottom funnel. That's the viral funnel. Again, 96% of your budget goes towards top of funnel new customers and only 4% to your middle and bottom of the funnel. By doing so, you won't plateau because you focus on your biggest market, which is the cold market, aka new customers. Now, there are three segments of the cold market. Segment one, people who want what you're selling and actively seek your type of brand. Segment two, people who want what you're selling but aren't actively seeking your type of brand. Segment three, people who have yet to decide they want what you are selling and aren't actively seeking your type of brand. And if you're spending 40% or more of your ad spend on MOF and BOF, that means only 60% or less of your ad spend is on TOF. So you can capture segments 1 and 2, but you can't scale in segment 3, which is the biggest segment, because there's not enough ad spend going towards TOF. The viral funnel enables you to scale in segment 3 because almost all your ad spend is concentrated on new customers. Now, the campaign structure. This is the core structure you will use to scale, and we use this with all fashion brands. So you can see here, TOF scale, TOF creative testing, MOF, and BOF. TOF scale. This is where you scale winning viral bestseller ads as long as they are profitable. TOF creative testing, which is the most important. This is where you do viral testing, finding out what resonates with new audiences in your creatives to have more angles into the market. And I'll cover this in depth in another video, or if you're watching this through our link, it will be there. And so when you're in TOF creative testing, have one ad per ad set for each test to not mix data. You have no limit on ad sets, which means the more you test, the better, as long as there's one ad per ad set. Now, MOF, the goal is to re-engage people who interact with Instagram and Facebook. BOF is just simple retargeting. Now, some optional additions. Advantage Plus, which is the image carousel and catalog, and ASC campaigns. These are two of Facebook's newest ad options. It's like Google's Performance Max. There's no specific structure to it because Facebook has the most control. It's a black box, quote unquote. So I recommend it only once you're scaling with the core structure in place. If you rely on it too much and it fatigues or Facebook changes something, then you haven't gained any insights into why it worked or not, which means you are back to square one. Now, some budget settings. There are two main options, CBO or ABO. Stick with ABO because ABO gives you the most control over your ads. CBO usually comes into the scaling part. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend starting and focusing on it. Focus mostly and stick with ABO. Now, audience settings. Stick with broad audiences in your main market. So if your main market is the US, you just target the whole US, exclude every other location, even if other locations get some orders. By doing so, you avoid Facebook overspending in locations it thinks has potential just because you get some orders. Instead, you focus Facebook on your highest ROI locations, which are your main markets. Also, avoid segmenting audiences like interest targeting, lookalike audiences, age, and most of the time even gender. That's the audience settings for scale. Now, it sounds counterintuitive to go broad, but the reason why this works is, number one, at your revenue level, you have more than enough data from your store and your Facebook pixel to let Facebook find the right audience for you. So when I say at your revenue level, I made this document and this video specifically for fashion brands who are doing at least 500K to 1 million per year online minimum. But now back to the point. So if you only sell to women, Facebook will only find you women customers, even though you don't restrict Facebook to only target women. And let's say for some reason Facebook, like some men creep onto your site, they're not going to buy if you only sell to women, right? There's no point. So number two, you avoid audience fatigue. Now this is the big one. If you segment audiences, you are capped based on how many people are in each segment. So at a certain point, it will fatigue, meaning you have to constantly test and find new audiences to keep scaling. By going broad, you are not limited by segmentation because you're targeting your entire market, meaning audience size won't be a limitation at all, and you don't have to constantly test and find new audiences. All you focus on is getting viral bestseller ads that resonate with a broad market and scale them. Once it resonates to broad audiences, it will scale for months and even years because it's your biggest market. For example, Dior knows their main markets and just goes broad. They blast their viral bestseller ads everywhere for 8 years straight because it resonates and sells, which is their Johnny Depp Dior Sauvage ad. If you want to find more about it, check out more of our other videos or the video description and the link in bio. This also ties into why only 4% of your ad spend should be on middle and bottom of funnel. By going broad, some typo here. So by going broad at a certain scale, your existing customers will get the TOF ads as well, meaning they'll be retargeted naturally as a result of focusing on TOF. Again, because you're going broad, naturally your customers at a certain point will get retargeted as well from your TOF ads. So there's no point in spending a lot of money on middle and bottom of funnel. People naturally see multiple Sauvage ads as a result of Dior going broad. Dior doesn't spend money on quote unquote retargeting ads. The obvious thing is that they have a big budget, but the strategy remains the same. So the conclusion here is that this is the most optimal audience setting that is working best right now in fashion. And we use broad audience and I see that it doesn't impact results. So here, for example, here, you see as a result, for this ad account, last 30 days from August 22nd to September 2023, spent about $43K at a 7.11 ROAS and a 307K return. And that's a client result just from going broad. So that pretty much covers what the viral funnel is, basically how you should allocate your ad spend, how you set up your campaign structure, right, which is TOF testing, TOF scaling, middle and bottom funnel, the most optimal audience settings, and the most optimal budget settings. And this video covers that optimal setup to scale your fashion brand online. So if you like more of this content, check out more of our social media channels. I have a bunch of other videos which you can apply as actionable content you can apply to your fashion brand right now to get better results. And if you're interested in working with us, check out our video description or the link in bio on our social channels. And I'll see you in the next one.